Willie D Live.
It's Willie D, y'all, back with another episode of information and instructions to help you navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. In the studio, Dee-1, a man who has no problem calling it like it is. What's up, man?
Man, I'm feeling
Welcome
great.
Back to the show.
Yeah, I'm back, brother. Part 2.
Yeah.
Part 1 was great. Part 2 gonna be immaculate.
It is because it's so much that's happened between the time that we first talked and now. Yeah, man.
Bro, I feel like my life has changed in a lot of ways. Like literally my life has changed. It's elevated. And this was one of the interviews where I saw like, oh, a lot of people paying attention to what I'm saying and what I'm spitting. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, man, you killing it. You out there, you doing it, man. Like, and I didn't even know, man, until you said it. These legends ain't legends no more.
Yeah,
you know what
man.
I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I ain't even know they wasn't legends.
Yeah, now that...
Like, explain that. Explain why these legends are not legends no more.
Yeah, man, because when you ask them, what are they a legend at? You know, you can't claim to be a legend if all you're a legend at is poisoning the minds of your own community, man. That ain't nothing to be proud of, man. So when we start to think about it, the word legend becomes a shelter for people. Because since I was 5 years old, if people told me that all these people are legends, then I just grew up believing that, right? But I also grew up believing Santa Claus was real. But then somebody eventually had to tell me, hey, David, Santa Claus not real, bro. And at first I was like, nah, Santa Claus is real because that's what I've been told my whole life. And then I found out the truth is Santa Claus is fake. So people who have been called legends our whole lives just because now that we get older, intelligent minds start to ask ourselves, are these people really legends? And why are they supposed to be called legends? Like, what did they do that was so legendary? And when you start to dissect it and break it down, you realize, man, they're legends at being villains. They're legends at poisoning our community. That's not something to be celebrated. So now you got to call it like it is. And I think that's the era we in right now, is having to call things like they are, because in hip-hop, I think we've been intoxicated with ignorance for so long. Like, if this was a bottle full of ignorance, hip-hop done said, for 30 years straight.
Wow.
Just give me more and more of the ignorance. So then you try to come with some intelligence, and people that are intoxicated with the ignorance, they look at you like you crazy. They look at you like you a hater, like you wrong. And it's like, no, I'm just sober-minded. That's all. I'm not intoxicated with the ignorance.
Yeah, I was in New Orleans recently, man, and I actually was gonna look you up, but I heard that you was banned from New Orleans, so I left it alone. How does one get banned from his own city? How does one get banned from a city?
Man, so first of all, I'm not banned from New Orleans, but there's certain people in New Orleans who my spirit irritates their demons because I don't have loyalty to my city more than I have loyalty to my God. You feel me? So if things that the city approves of and celebrates is things that I know God finds distasteful and doesn't celebrate, then I'm going to call it like it is, right? And in New Orleans, I've seen that I'm a polarizing figure, so just as many people who might not rock with me and might say, oh, you can't come back to New Orleans, there's 10 times as many people who love me and who rock with me. But of course, the hate and the negativity is always way louder than the positivity. And that came about really from the Super Bowl controversy with Lil Wayne. Yeah. That's where that came about from.
So you believe that Kendrick should be playing the Super Bowl over Lil Wayne playing the Super Bowl? Is that the point?
I didn't feel like there was any problem with Kendrick being chosen as the Super Bowl performer.
So are you against Lil Wayne performing at the Super Bowl, or are you just saying that, hey, it ain't nothing wrong if Kendrick is performing, or it wouldn't have been nothing wrong if Wayne would have performed?
Right. I feel like since Kendrick was chosen to perform at the Super Bowl, I immediately heard my city talking about that should have been Lil Wayne. And then I just thought about something in life that I haven't been ignorant to the fact that sometimes in life we have a sense of entitlement that's unwarranted, right? So if you have a sense of entitlement, you walk around feeling like somebody owes you something. And in New Orleans, I just felt like, oh, the city feels like because the Super Bowl is here, we are entitled to have a New Orleanian be the Super Bowl headlining performer. And I called that out. I was like, nah, that sense of entitlement is kind of like unwarranted, you know? Like we don't deserve to say that that's how it should be. We don't make the rules when it comes to that, you know? And then I kept it real. And, you know, when I draw this line, bro, in hip-hop, Willie, whether it's New Orleans, whether it's just hip-hop culture, people don't like it, man. But it's like, let's actually call it like it is and talk about what people choose to glorify overwhelmingly, like in their lyrics. Like, what are people known for? You know what I'm saying? And when I start to do that and just put that out there, I'm not making up lyrics for people. I'm not sitting here making up albums and all this. I'm just like, this is what people have chosen to do over the course of their career. Let's call it like it is. What's the most appropriate stage for this type of message? You know what I mean? There's different stages for different messages. And that seems to like ruffle people's feathers because people don't like to acknowledge and admit that, dang, this has been very entertaining, but entertainment in and of itself can be positive or negative. That's the thing. Music has this duality to it. Music can heal, but what's the opposite of healing? Hurting. Music can also hurt. Music can heal you. I've been a part of music healing in my life. But I've also been a part of having music hurt me. Music can educate you, but music can also miseducate you. You know what I mean? So when you think about the dual nature of music, it's like, wow, music can entertain you, but music can also bore you. So when you think about entertainment has two sides to it. Just because something is entertaining doesn't mean that it's necessarily good for you. And I think that people don't think about it like that. We look at hip-hop like, man, if it's entertaining, then it's something that I like. And if I like it, then I feel like it's good for me.
Oh, hell. Goddamn, boy, you caught me with that one.
Yeah.
Boy, that was like, you know, you just walking down the street and somebody hit you, and you turn around and it's an old dude, a dude that you had a problem with. Man, that was a heater right there. But do artists have a moral obligation to address social political issues, or, you know, should activism be separate from entertainment?
Yeah, I don't think every artist should be a social activist and to address social political issues. No, I think at a minimum, an artist should say, you know what, I want to tell my story. What's wrong with, as an artist, telling your story? Now, if you choose to venture out and say, more so than telling my story, I want to tell the story of my community. I want to tell the story of my city. I want to tell the story of my generation, of my race, of my religion. Then, okay, now you're taking on the mantle of saying, I want to be a spokesperson for all of these people. But at a minimum, at least tell your story.
So that's where narration comes in over glorification.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just for the record, those are Dee-1's words. That's what he say.
Yeah.
You know, narration over glorification.
That's it, man. I just don't understand how we don't, once again, it's being intoxicated with the ignorance, though, for so long to where we've said, oh, man, what this is, we thirsty for some entertainment. And it's like, here go entertainment right here. But mixed in with this entertainment is a nice dose of ignorance. So then we just... Are you entertained? Yeah, we entertained for sure. Yeah, we definitely entertained. But dang, we getting entertained with ignorance. And that makes it to where now people don't even feel comfortable narrating their own story. Man, a lot of rappers are afraid to tell their own story because they feel like their story isn't violent enough.
You know, to your point, I've always been a huge fan of Will Smith, because he's always been authentically Will Smith. When he said parents don't understand, you could tell he come from a two-parent household. Just saying parents don't understand. Because if I had wrote that same song, or if I had wrote a song about my living experience, I would have said, sister don't understand. Because I used to call my mama sister. We used to call my mama sister. So I would say, sister don't understand.
Wow.
You know, because my daddy was not in the picture at all.
Okay.
So Will Smith was not ever afraid to be Will Smith, and he's been the same with his music, even to date. When you listen to Will Smith, you believe that that's who he is, and that's the life that he lives, and he is who he say he is. But having said that, I do not think that it should be a requirement for an artist to mirror his image in his music. Mirror his personal reality with his music. I believe an artist should be able to dream, manufacture stories. I mean, directors do it. You know, writers do it in Hollywood. They do it all the time. And they're not held to some type of
that's because
standard.
That's because when the movie comes out, it says that it's a fiction movie. So we need rappers to start saying this is fiction music.
But do we really need rappers to say that? Because we already know that a lot of it is fiction. But the difference is that some of it ain't fiction. And that's what's scary, I think. I think if we didn't have all of this murder going on, perhaps, you know, your voice wouldn't be as loud as it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like when you think about racism. If racism was not so pervasive today, we wouldn't be waking up talking about it every day. But because the people who can't stand to be called racist practice racism so vigilantly, you know, so I mean they are vigilant about how they, you know, practice racism. They serious. They like to be known as a racist, but they don't want to be called a racist.
Right.
So if they didn't,
so
if we wasn't still experiencing it at the level that we did, you know, or at the level that we are experiencing it every single day, we wouldn't be waking up talking about it every day.
So people want the cash, but they don't want the consequences. So people want to be able to monetize having an image on record as being a killer, being a dope dealer, you heard me? Being a person that's living that type of life on record, but they don't want the consequences that come along with being a killer and being a dope dealer. So when you want the cash, but not the consequences, there's a disconnect. And somebody got to bring some accountability to the rap game. At a certain point, we got to say it's not about being friends with everybody. It's not about being on everybody's good side. We got to bring some accountability, and that's all I'm doing. And I'm bringing it because I'm traumatized from the consequences that come along with these images that people portray. I'm traumatized because my best friend got murdered. I'm traumatized because one of my students, 2 of my students, 3 of my students, 4 of my students I used to teach got murdered. One of them got murdered by another student I used to teach. You know what I'm saying? I'm traumatized by seeing people who I love locked up in jail because they were trying to live out in real life the lyrics that we were listening to growing up. And some of us had daddies in the household, like me. So it was like, I'm listening to this, but I ain't finna go out there and actually break in that car with y'all. I ain't finna go out there and rob that dude with y'all. My daddy will kill me, you know what I'm saying? But some of y'all ain't have that accountability in the house. So I saw y'all go out and do it, and I saw the consequences in real life happen to my friends. So I'm traumatized from seeing all this stuff, and that's what makes me want to bring accountability to an industry that I love so much, to an art form that I love so much, which is hip-hop. And the only pushback I get is from people who don't want any accountability. Why? Because they want the cash without the consequences.
I think the pushback that you're getting, to your point, is from the people who you care about the most, the people that you're trying to save the most, are the ones who are the most resistant. Does that ever get frustrating? When you are out here waving the flag for somebody else, you know, for a particular person or a group of people, and they're criticizing you at the same time. How does that make you feel? Does that ever make you feel like giving up? Like, you know what? you ever just say to yourself, I mean, I'm just call a striker striking a ball. You ever just say, you know what? Fuck y'all. I'm finna go at it. Because you're very talented. You're multi-talented. Yeah. You could do a lot more than just rap, you know? And I know you're a businessman, so you could do a lot of other things. Does it ever make you want to say, you know what, man, I'm finna just, I'm gonna let y'all deal with y'all.
Right.
If that's what y'all want.
No, I've never felt like that because luckily, when I look back in history, I look at Jesus. The same people Jesus came to serve and save, they ultimately were like, man, do away with him. We want to crucify him. We literally want him dead. And he's like, I literally came here to serve y'all, to perform miracles for y'all, to save y'all. And I see how they wanted to crucify him. And it was the masses, it was the people who were like, nah, get rid of him. So thankfully, that example has been set for me, and I don't think too deep into it. I'm just like, oh, this is just part of the territory. This is just part of what comes along. I actually get nervous when nobody is opposing what it is that I represent. If nobody's opposing me, then that means that I'm probably not being bold enough in terms of the morals, the values, and the principles that I'm trying to stand for. Because nobody opposes you. The only time nobody opposes you is if you don't stand for anything. That's the only time nobody opposes you. So if I'm in the rap game and nobody is opposing me, if I'm everybody's friend, something ain't right. I ain't got no backbone. I ain't got no vertebrae. You heard me?
You know, that's how I look at society at large, living in America, being a black man. If mainstream America loves you, you're probably not for the people. Because I know what mainstream America is about. I know how they rock, and I know how they feel about me and people that look like me. So if they like you, especially if you're black, if you're black and they love you, I'm talking about love you.
Right.
I ain't talking about just, oh, you black and you got the blacks and you got the mainstream. I'm talking about, no, I'm talking about when the majority of your audience is mainstream America, predominantly race. I already know.
You already know.
You ain't for the people.
That you can't be standing on no real business at that point.
Yeah.
It make it very hard to be like, whoa, you're embraced by the masses, because sometimes what you got to stand for is going to be seen as offensive or a threat to the masses. You know what I mean? So what happens then? And my thing is, if somebody only likes me, if they agree with me 100% of the time, I don't need your support. If that's the contingency, is the only way I'm gonna rock with you, D1, is if I agree with you 100% of the time, then, man, it's only a matter of time before you be like, D, you done pissed me off, you done made me mad, like, I ain't supporting you no more. We might as well get that out the way early and just, hey, you don't even have to start supporting me. You feel me? Because that takes away my freedom and my agency as a man to be an independent thinker. Because now, man, I seen that happen this election season. I seen Christians stop liking me because I said I wasn't voting for Donald Trump. You know what I mean? Like, literally, they've been following me for 15 years. They know, oh, this is a real man of God. Oh, I done went to his concerts. I done listened to his music. We bump his music in our household, all this. And then all of a sudden, some people say, wait, what? He came out and said he not voting for Donald Trump? Oh, man, I can't rock with him ever again. Ever again. He canceled in my mind. I seen that happen this election cycle. I'm just like, oh, if that's what it took for you to support me, is you had to agree with 100% of my political, spiritual, professional, mental, like financial decisions, man, nobody's support is that important, bro. It's 8 billion people in this world. I would choose to live my life trying to please one, which is my creator, as opposed to trying to micromanage the ways to appeal to all 8 billion people in this world. It's too much stress. It's too much stress, man. I don't need the validation of people no more. And that come from people in my religion, that come from people in my race, that come from people in my city. Like, that even come from people in my own family at this point, bro.
Let's talk about the people in your city. New Orleans is known as a culturally astute place. People love to go to New Orleans. People love the history of New Orleans, but there's also a very dark side of New Orleans where people celebrate the negativity, and there's murder, and it's real. And I don't know how real the threat was against you, but I did see people talking down on you online. And I do know that those type of situations can end up going there. How do you navigate through those type of waters when you know that, okay, some of these threats can be serious, and some of these dudes might try to act on those threats? And this is where you're from. This is your hometown. You love New Orleans, so you're going back. You're absolutely going back. How do you keep yourself safe?
So I've never carried a gun in my life, never shot a gun in my life, and I don't plan on starting. You know what I mean? So number one, I remain myself. I stay safe by knowing that my bodyguard is my God. You feel me? So I stay prayed up. I lead with love. You know, I move with love to the point where people making comments who are opposed to me or even threats and all that type of stuff, man, I can't let that pull me out of like the frame that I was put here to possess. And the frame that I possess is an unwavering man of God who is going to use his time and his talents here on earth to spread God's word and spread God's love. And I just got to keep moving like that confidently. Now, if I started becoming somebody that I know I'm not deep down, but if I justify it to say, well, I'm protecting myself, so that's why I got to move different, or that's why I got to do this or do that differently, then I should be worried, because it's like, you're not being David anymore. You becoming a person that you think you need to be out of fear. You know what I mean? Why should there be fear when we know why we were put here? I was put here to do exactly what I'm doing right now. Speak the truth boldly with love, and when it's offensive to people, it's okay. I still love those people who it's offensive to, but that's what we don't have. We don't have enough critical thinking skills to be able to resolve conflicts in ways that aren't toxic. And I think that our generation needs to be able to see that stuff modeled. So for me, anybody that I've gotten into a conflict with inside of hip-hop, whether it's another artist because of my words, whether it's a media person because of my words or opinions, whether it's fans, my thing is, that's an opportunity right there. The second that we had quote-unquote conflict, that's an opportunity for us to show what it can look like to healthily resolve that conflict.
Yeah.
And that's the side of the story that people often don't get to see. You know, I just had a great sit down with BG. Man, I had an off day on tour. I was on a 22-city tour just now and had an off day, spent the whole off day with BG, bro. When I tell you, me and this man BG really got like a brotherhood at this point. The type of time we spent. We ain't just spend frivolous time together, spend real time laughing, talking, getting serious, getting deep, reflecting, you know what I mean? Talking business, personal, all that type of stuff.
What city were y'all in?
Las Vegas. Man, when I tell you that these are the type of interactions that I know have the ability to be transformative, because when hip-hop can see that people who they don't think, you know, belong together, you know, when they can see that, then all of a sudden they say, well, dang, maybe this person who I don't think I could be on the same page with, maybe we can coexist after all, you know? When people see me and Benny the Butcher, we just went viral for me and Benny the Butcher met for the first time, right, in Atlanta a month or two ago. And a few months back on the internet, you know, I had some comments about
his top five.
Yeah,
Coke
top
rappers.
5 Coke rappers. There you go. And when I had a comment about that, I was speaking about the person interviewing him, right? But you know how the fans are. They try to instigate, Dee-1 going there, Benny the Butcher, da-da-da. So, you know, as an artist, you could hear that, and that could get into your timeline, and you automatically think, this dude Dee-1 don't like me. That's my op. I don't rock with him. Man, we met each other in person. Brother, the interaction was so powerful. Benny said, you right. He said, I love everything you're doing. He said, don't stop. He said, we rapping about drugs and all this. He said, we got to tell the whole story. We got to show both sides of the story. He said, this is great. I love what you're doing. And for us to be able to talk and have that dialogue, thankfully somebody had the camera rolling. Because a lot of these interactions I'm having with people, the camera don't be rolling 24/7. For them to see that, like, man, we human beings at the end of the day, man. We all got a future that we want to be better than our past. And the only way we do that is through communication, because communication is going to lead to unification.
What type of degrees do you have?
I got 1 degree.
Okay.
I got a degree in marketing from Louisiana State University, LSU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my degree in separation.
Seven.
But anyway, now the reason why I ask you that is because you make a lot of points that are psychologically insightful, right? So what I want to know is if you're able to break this down, why is it that so many black people are quick to be offended to the point of violence when a black person does something that's commits a transgression against them, right? Or they feel that they've been, treated badly or whatever. Why is it that black people only tell black people they're canceled, they're banned from the city? They need to check in. Here's something they don't like, and pull up.
Yeah.
We're gonna get you.
Yeah.
And you have all kinds of other people on the internet every day talking down on black people as a whole.
Yeah.
Talking about your mama, your daddy, your sisters and brothers. Talking about your whole neighborhood, saying that the whole neighborhood need to be banned. But they ain't got no energy for that.
You ain't got no smoke for that.
They ain't got none of that. But as soon as a black person does something that they disagree with, they're ready to swing. I remember, and it's not just people in the streets. I remember Terry Crews allowed the white exec in Hollywood to fundle his jungle, and he didn't do anything about it. Right in front of his wife, he didn't do anything about it, and then he went to the internet and said, "Me too," right? And D.L. Hughley made the comment that, "Hey man, God gave you those muscles,
you
to keep these men off your ass. You know what I'm saying? To defend yourself, basically, right?" And he gets mad at D.L. and immediately go online and tell D.L. talks about how he would, use violence against D.L.
Man,
but he ain't used no violence against the white dude who grabbed his junk.
Yeah.
He ain't said nothing about all the other people in the comments who were joking about him. But when DL speak on it, he's ready for violence. He's ready to go to war. Because I'm trying to understand it, because if I've reached a point to where I want to be violent, if somebody does something that makes me want to be violent, I don't know how to separate by color or skin.
Right.
I don't know how to do that.
Right.
I don't know how to separate by profession.
Right.
Status.
Yeah.
How much money you got. I don't know how to separate that.
Gotcha.
I don't know how to separate by
You just got a switch that just clicks.
Streets, sweets. I don't know how to separate that. I just know that, you violated. You in violation. And if it caused me to be that way, then it don't matter what your lot in life is. Don't matter what your status is. How is it that so many black people can just instantly, reach the point where they want to kill, any kind of minor transgression? They want to kill another black person.
Yeah, so it's 3 things that stand out to me. The first one is the level of comfortability that we as black people feel when it comes to other black people. We feel comfortable with other black people, so therefore we'll feel comfortable inflicting violence upon other black people. It just doesn't feel foreign to us, because we're like, oh, that's another black person. They feel accessible. That brings me to the second point. I think there's a level of fear that we as black people possess when it comes to potentially inflicting violence upon someone who's not black. So someone who's white, you almost feel that level of fear, wait, there's actually going to be some type of retribution that comes from that. And I'm afraid of the consequence of that. You feel like the consequence to harming your brother, your fellow black brother or sister, you feel like that consequence is negligible. Like, oh, I'm not worried about what's going to happen to me. Or there is no consequence that comes from it. But you actually feel that fear. I think a lot of these people, they feel that fear, that deep down, man, if I harm a white person, it's going to come back to me 10 times worse. And I think people feel that fear, but they don't admit that fear. Because then when you admit that fear, it makes you look like a coward, you know?
Which is exactly what you are if that's the way your brain is programmed.
Yeah.
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 Because see, when I look at other black people, I look at people that's in the same boat as me and people who come from where I come from. You know, people who I can relate to. You know, more than any other people on the planet. These are people that I can relate to. I come from where they come from, you know. I understand. That's why when I see youngsters doing crazy stuff a lot of time, I give them grace because I know, shit, I was a youngster doing crazy stuff. I mean, they tell me I was going to be dead before I was 18. And I gave them good reason to make those type of statements, you know. So I absolutely understand where you're coming from with that.
So we see it every day in hip hop. None of this bold, aggressive energy that people have is. I say it in my song. I got a song called "Call It Like It Is." This after Kendrick Lamar had shouted me out a couple months ago on his song, and I say, man, I love New Orleans, my city, but I love Galway more. I don't care if none of y'all with me. We celebrate being stupid, and everybody's so gangster. But when you clocking for that white man, you be on your best behavior.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. How? Like, and what about, and even with the changing of the voice,
man,
you know, like, I wish I would.
Code switching.
I wish I would elevate my behavior, my character, for somebody who ain't.
Imagine that. Imagine
Man,
that.
I wish I would.
Imagine that, bro.
I wish I would change my music to appeal to somebody other than my own people first. I wish I would. Now, I appreciate all my fans who are not black. I appreciate every single one of them. But I'm not changing my music. I'm not changing my message, even like I'm on the internet every day. I'm not changing my message to make you feel comfortable. No, this is my message. If you can relate to it, that's fine. If you can't, kick rocks. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I think some black people put white people in a place that's reserved for God.
Yeah. Man, he good. Even white people like him.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So some black people put white people in a place that should be reserved for God because they feel like if I have the approval of white people, I have made it. And that was my goal all along, was to get their approval, right? Meanwhile, once they realize that the approval that they're seeking from white people is going to be short-lived, because if they approve of you for being a version of yourself that's not authentic, after a while, you're going to get tired of just being this Sambo or just being this Django, you know what I mean? Being this character that you know, like, man, I can't even really be myself, and I got to be a fake version of me to keep their approval. Like, that's a tough job to have to get into costume every day, bro.
I don't know, man. Larry Elder's got a pretty damn good streak going.
Man.
Boy, that boy, that boy been dancing for a long time.
Yeah,
and a few others.
Yeah, you got some that have mastered it, but I've also seen behind the scenes some artists who they end up being so successful on the surface. They've sold millions of records and they seem to have it made from the outside looking in. But deep down, they're still trying to do this very low-level stuff, this very ignorant stuff, just so that they could appeal to black people because they want to seem authentic. And then that actually shows like a level of love that you don't have for black people when you feel like I got to intentionally be ignorant. I got to intentionally dumb down my message so that, because that's what my people want to hear. Right. When you really love your people, it's like, no, I know how to be authentic, but I also know how to be authentic in a way that challenges us to be the best of who we could possibly be. And I see it, man. Like, you got people out here trying to manufacture authenticity, bro. And deep down at the core of people that are trying to manufacture authenticity, you got these 30, 40, and 50-year-old people that are professionally successful, but personally, their soul is very hollow. And they don't know who they are still. And they need therapy, man. You know, they got tons of fans, but they need therapy.
Yeah. It's not just artists. It's also those damn people on those YouTube commercials. When they come on.
Oh, like the gurus?
Nah.
Who?
The government got some money for you, $600. Y'all better come on. I don't know what you're waiting on. Y'all better come on and get on. Boy, I can't stand them motherfuckers when they come on, man. All of that ignorance, man, talking like that.
Yep.
You already know they're trying to target black folks.
Absolutely.
Acting like that's what we want to hear.
Absolutely. There you go.
Because they have a low opinion. Their opinion of us is that low.
Yep.
That's the way that they talk to us, trying to target us.
I guarantee it's a white person who's directing that commercial. That's like, let's hire a black person. Yeah. Right. They're doing everything except giving you some chicken and watermelon and saying, hey, have this in the commercial with you. Like, they doing everything. That's like the next step, because they basically just saying, whatever the stereotype is that we feel like black people are going to resonate with, we're going to put them right there. You're right.
I can't stand them motherfuckers.
You're right. But that's just like that. So they're equivalent to the rappers. So those people will argue with you, Willie, and they'll say, man, I'm getting my money. You hating. If you hating on me, I'm getting my money. I'm doing it legally. Why you got an opinion on what I'm doing? Like, they play the same role as these rappers who the companies will give a little bit of bread to, and they'll say, go out there and be the most ignorant version of who you could possibly be, and we're going to make sure that you're getting radio spins, you on tour, and you making money. And meanwhile, a lot of people going to fall for it. A lot of people clicking on them YouTube ads. Don't get it twisted. They clicking on it because marketing, once again, I was a marketing major. People have studied what appeals to people. And if all you care about is money over morals, then you will say, shoot, the marketing part is easy. The marketing part is very simple. We know what resonates with people. It's an algorithm. It's literally a formula, and we just force feed people what we know resonates with them. That's if you put money over morality. But when you get to the point to where you understand marketing, this is why I'm a glitch in the matrix. I understand marketing, but I value morality over money. So because of that, I put my morality first, and then I figure out how to still strategically market making morality cool. If you can monetize having a high moral standard, that's the win-win for society. People's pockets are paid, but people's souls are fulfilled. And that's what we need more of, bro. Showing that peace and positivity is profitable. People got to see that.
Before I go any further, man, congratulations on the Loaded album, man.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. Life of a Disruptor Evolving Daily.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man, that's beautiful, man. You debuted at #2 on the hip hop and rap chart.
I did, brother. I did.
Beautiful.
Man, I'm so blessed, bro. I think people hear me talking a lot, and they don't realize, like, when it come to rapping, like, I'm really top tier with this stuff.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, this album number 12 for me.
Yeah.
Debuting #2 on the hip hop charts behind Eminem.
Right.
Independent, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's powerful, bro. And I'm reaping the benefits right now of putting out a great album. I just got off a 22-city tour with my man brother Ali. We just toured the entire West Coast and the Midwest. That was amazing. I got a new banger out right now with Raheem Devon.
Yeah, Your Story Is Your Glory.
Yeah. Oh, Purify My Eyes. That's the name of it with Raheem.
Okay,
yep, Purify My Eyes.
So what's Your Story Is Your Glory?
That's a song too. That's another song of mine. Yep.
Okay.
So that song hard. That song crazy. Yeah. The one with Raheem Devon, Purify My Eyes. The reason why it's so relevant right now, we just dropped the music video for it, right? The reason why it's so relevant is because we all are born innocent. But then over time, as we grow up, this world really disrupts our innocence, and it strips us of our innocence, right? As an adult, once you become enlightened, you realize that the goal is to try to get as much of that purity back as possible in this world that's polluted, right? So on that song, I say, I'm trying to purify my eyes because I seen too many lies, and I seen too many thighs attached to booties supersized. Prison and poverty made me see too many cries, and Lord knows I done seen too too many rappers die. Seen too many fiends get high. The stuff I seen, it made me wise. But that wisdom is nothing if it remains unapplied. I seen my business partner steal so much money from me, then run and hide. But I seen God's word, and he said he ain't about to let that slide. I don't care about seeing a BBL when they got people in this world trying to see me fail. Can I be honest? I seen myself at my worst. I done broke women's hearts and broke promises, telling God I'ma keep them first. I can't unsee what I seen, but I'm hoping I can unbe the worst of what I've been or what I feel myself being. I'm trying to discipline my eyes. That's the goal for me, to have discernment to now want for everything I see. Yeah, bro. I'm just trying to purify my eyes, my heart, and my soul before I leave this earth, bro. That's it.
Your grandfather left this earth a few years ago. That was like 2020?
Last year.
Was that?
My grandma left in 2020.
Okay, I thought that was, I don't know why
yeah,
I thought it was
my mom was 2020, Papa was 2023, so a year ago.
Y'all had a lot of talks. Because I know you was bragging about him a lot. I don't know why I thought it was 4 years ago. Was he sick?
Yeah, he was sick back then, but he shook back. I had moved him in. He had started staying with me for a while.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all had a lot of talks about life. What conversation did you miss out on having with him that you wished you could have had before he passed?
Man, I say this with a smile on my face, Willie. Not one. Because I recognized that my grandfather was a living legend, a walking angel, back in like 2013. You know, I was a grown man at that point, and I was just like, man, I ain't never met a human being like this dude. Like the way we connect, the way he articulates his messages to me and the way they resonate with me. So I actually started, and I would encourage people to do this with your loved ones. When we would have these powerful convos, I would record the convos on my voice memos on my phone. I just put the phone right there, have it on record, and we just sit there and we chop it up for hours, you know? And I still got that stuff documented.
Play one right now.
Man, I guarantee you I could play one right now, brother. Voice memo is full of them. Let me see. You see how...
And how old was your grandfather when he passed?
Man, he was 93. 93 years young. Yep.
That's a good run. Yep. Now, this is your paternal or maternal grandfather?
This paternal.
Yeah.
Paternal. So this my daddy's daddy. So we call him Papa. So let's see. All right. Man, I got so many. And some of them I titled them because I'm like, oh, this is what we talked about on here. But let me see. All right.
How many hours do you think you have?
Oh, bro, I definitely, let me see if this is one with him. Hold on. Because it's a kind of long conversation. Let me see.
The engine built properly, targeted at like 12, or does it make sense?
Okay, not that one. Hold on. I probably got about, in real life, I probably got about maybe between 50 and 100 hours of me and my grandpa's talks.
Now, what did he do for a living?
So he was a plasterer. So, you know, he worked with his hands. Yeah. He let me see. This might be, hold on. Let me see. Is this him? Hold on. That's one of my speeches. I'm looking for all the long conversations on my voice memo, because anything long, that mean it might have been him.
That's a good thing.
Right? These other conversations that people don't need to hear. But hold on. Let me see what this one is. Hold on.
I'm just trying to take notes, so we could be as.
Oops. I'm gonna have to find one, brother, and play it before the end of the episode, because it's so many. Look, these are all voice memos, by the way. So just so people see, I'm looking through all these for like, what's the Papa convos? Matter of fact, do they let you search your voice memos by like keywords?
Yeah, you go all the way to the top and you can search it.
You could?
Yeah.
Mine ain't letting me. I hit all recordings. I got 1,800. Oh, all right, let me see.
Yeah.
All right. Type in Papa name.
You got 1,800 recordings?
Yes, sir. Here we go. Oh, man, thank you for that, brother. I never knew that. Yeah. Let's see.
What you do with it is another story. You said when you're born, what? Say it again. Everything you need for your life, you got it. You just have to follow. See, you don't know it, But that's the way it is. And whatever it is that you have, you got to make use of it. That's why some people can be intelligent, others can't. But that don't mean they're not smart.
Right.
They be streetwise, or they read a lot.
That's true.
What you do with your life is what it is. And you got people living with you, so it's how you treat the people.
True. Yep. We gotta be resourceful. Take advantage of what's around us. You're right. Absolutely right.
You know, just like when you come to a certain thing and you got to make a decision, you weigh it out and then you figure what's best for you. That's your decision. You know? Now some people might be greedy and they see where they can get more, but they might hurt somebody and they don't care, go ahead and do it. But that's not using what they give you. You're taking advantage.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
I got so many of these, bro.
Yeah. That's wisdom. You can hear it. You can hear it. And you know what? Big salute to Pawpaw, but also for you for seeking knowledge. That's how I used to do it, man. Like, and this is why I didn't make as many mistakes in my 20s as some of my peers did. And I had so much game to give in the music is because I listened to my elders. Today, a lot of these youngsters, man, they quick to call somebody old and, quick to look down on somebody. I mean...
Like that's a bad thing.
They act like old, they act like old is a curse or something, when that is the goal. The goal is to get old. You see? But and a lot of them make mistakes, and a lot of them die prematurely because they don't have any respect for age. They don't have any respect for their elders. And they don't see themselves being old. They don't even like the idea of being old.
Bro, you know what my generation coined the phrase, live fast, die young. Like that's good or something.
I don't even know how a person wrap their brain around dying young.
Bro.
Like, how do you want to die young?
They look at it like a badge of honor.
How?
Intoxicated with ignorance, bro.
How? Even not just dying young in the physical, but dying young in the mental when you locked up in prison for 25, 30 years, 40, 50, 70 years for doing something ignorant.
Yeah.
It's like, I tell my kids all the time, man, if you're going to do something stupid, make sure it's your idea.
I got you.
Because at least if it's your idea, you can deal with it,
That's a
But
fact.
if it's somebody else's idea, you be like, man, kicking yourself the whole time.
You was just a crash dummy.
Crash
you was
dummy.
a crash dummy behind somebody else's way of life, and you just followed along with it, man. That's tough. That's why I said the title of my album, Life of a Disruptor, Evolving Daily, because if I'm not a disruptor, I feel like I'm wasting my time in this rap game. You know what I mean? Because whenever you find yourself in love with something that you see also has so many flaws and so much room for growth, it's like, oh, this is exactly where I need to be. Because I'm in love with it. I'm in love with hip-hop. But I see so many flaws inside of hip-hop culture, and I see so much room for improvement inside of hip-hop. So that's right where I need to be. Now, when you get there, you ask yourself, am I here to just get comfortable, or am I here to make this space better? And if I'm going to make this space better, I got to shake stuff up, and I got to disrupt what's seen as the norms. And that's how I wish more people would think about themselves in hip-hop. You got so many people that are looking for hip-hop to be the thing to get them out of poverty, right? My grandpa told me, he said, man, you already got everything you need. You just heard the recording. Papa told me, you already got everything you need. Whether or not you use it, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? So what that let me know is to make a living and provide for myself and my family down here, I got what I need. I don't need hip hop for that. So if I'm going to be in hip-hop, I should never compromise what I'm in the game for to be like, man, but if I say that, that's going to mess up my bag. I'm not going to make as much money if I keep it really real on that type of level.
When was that moment in your life that made you question the value of success?
Oh, man, that's the question of the century right there. The value of success, I started questioning it when I was, when I was a young, kind of desperate dude just trying to get on as a rapper. And there was an executive who, this man offered to manage me, and, he was telling me he could put me on or whatever. But he definitely told me that, he would want me to take part in some homosexual type activities. And that let me know right there, because there was no way I did that. No way I was going to do that, right? But once I saw that look in his eye and I seen how that dude was actually like getting down, and the fact that he knew that he had the leverage because he had connections and he had status that I wanted and that I needed, and I saw that, that's when I was like, oh man, all success ain't good. Because success, if it got to come at the expense of your sexuality or your integrity, it just ain't worth it. And I keep in mind I had a job at the time. So when this encounter happened, I was still a middle school teacher, right? And while I was teaching middle school, I'm making money. So it's not like I was like, man, I'm homeless, man. I got to do this or else I can't even pay my bills. Nah, I always been providing for myself. You know what I'm saying? So when I got propositioned with that, it was very easy to say no to it, but it also let me know there's some people who wouldn't have walked out of this video shoot today with their manhood.
What's his name?
I ain't gonna say it, bro. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm not gonna say it. It's not Diddy. I tell you that much. His name not P. Diddy.
Well, the only reason I want to know the name is so that other people can watch out.
Yeah, so right. When I first told that story, I realized that that was like 10, 12, maybe 15 years ago. I'm like, I ain't heard nothing about dude in a while, right? So I went and did a little research to see how he was, because he was like an exec back then. Man, dude not doing good at all. He not doing good at all. So it's one of them things to where I'm like, oh, life, karma, whatever you want to call it, it done caught up with him. And me seeing that and me knowing that, it's like he not even in that position to where he's still trying to do that to people. Because
What'd you say his name is?
He not doing good. His name,
First name.
First name, man. First name ain't gonna give it away because he got a very general first name. But nah, I don't want
initials. First and last initial.
Nah, but I don't want to go viral for that reason, bro. We ain't even gonna go viral off of it because he ain't nobody who people are gonna know.
But it's, again, though, it's like I said in the top. I said that I give you information and instructions to help you navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. Yeah. And that's why I'm talking to you, right? Yeah. Because I know you got that information.
Yeah. If anybody listens, so we talking 2000, between 2009 and 2011, we talking Atlanta. We talking a person who was managing artists and who was an executive. And we talking somebody who is not on at all on no kind of level musically, right now. And there's people who, if people watch this and they like, man, I know who dude is because and because I know how dude was getting down. He tried to come at me crazy. They'll know who it is. But honestly, he don't deserve the publicity that's gonna come along with me because he's literally irrelevant right now.
Well, again, I'm just trying to get to helping other people. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I do. My whole thing is like, because somebody else got us that same story, and they probably want to say something, but they ain't gonna say nothing because, usually like when it come to a bully, how many times the bully has bullied the block and everybody was scared, nobody said anything, everybody was terrorized. And the first time somebody
Yeah.
knocked him out. Everybody, wait a minute. So he not invincible. So wait a minute. So he can't hurt me like I thought he could. Oh, but D1 just dropped him. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Let me get my lick back in. You know, let me get my lick in. That's how it goes. And that's why when I was growing up, people thought I was on drugs because I would fight anybody. Like, I would fight. I was like, I spent most of my time as a teenager like, I was like maybe 160 pounds, 150 pounds. But I would routinely knock out 200-pound plus dudes. Routinely. Didn't matter how big they were, size, nothing.
What y'all was fighting over?
Nothing. You know, a lot of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like most people fight over a lot of nothing. Things that could easily have been avoided. A lot of times it's a pissing contest, right? You know, it's somebody just trying to impose their will on you, right? You at the basketball court, somebody walks up and just want to grab the ball and start shooting the ball. Somebody who's not even in the game just want to grab the ball and interrupt the game because they can. You know, it's a lot of bullies all over America, right? It's bullies. Like if you go in the workplace right now, there's a lot of people listening to me right now can attest to that. They're in the workplace and they're in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, and they're being bullied on the job right now. But they deal with it because they have bills to pay.
Okay. So I gotta. All right. So I am gonna bring this up. Then this is a good point. All right. If two adults are over 18 years old, right, and if it's something to where there's people every day, men in the music industry and in life who are forcing themselves on women and who are basically saying, yo, I have a promotion that I'm going to hold over your head, but I want a sexual favor in return or something like that. Is that any different than a man who tries to do that same thing towards another man? Is that any different?
It's not any different at all.
All right. So that being said, is it illegal?
I think...
or is it immoral? That's the... Because I'm going somewhere with this.
We know we're going to start off with immoral.
It's immoral, It's whack, it's lame,
that's a weak way to get a piece.
Right. If they don't force themselves on that person and actually take that sexual favor that they're seeking from that person, if they just like put it out there that they would like this in exchange for that, the part about is that illegal? And if they don't do it in a way to where they're like now harassing that person, you know, for it, where I'm going with it is, like, I don't know, is that illegal or not?
I think if it's just,
if it's just two adults,
and if it's just two adults, and I think that could easily, depend on the. I think it maybe it has more to do with like company policy.
Okay.
Than legalities, right?
All right, there you go. So, the music industry is the wild, wild west to where it's like it don't be no company policy because cats don't work for no company and they're independent contractors and entrepreneurs. So I say all that to say what it really boils down to is people having to have the moral fortitude, you know what I mean, to say that when I'm in a position of power, I'm not going to use my power to try to coerce somebody, man or woman, to do these sexual things for me in order for them to advance, right? Like, it might not be something that's going to get you in jail if you proposition. I don't think what dude propositioned to me was illegal, but it was just immoral, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it took for me to have the moral fortitude, to have papa, to have my daddy, to have people that done raised me to where it's like, we not getting down like that, brother. Like, ain't no amount of success or elevation worth my manhood, right? It takes for us to have an elevated level of like moral integrity that we hold ourselves to not fall for it and to not be that desperate. But ultimately, it takes for us to have some people in power who don't abuse their power in those type of ways.
And it's important too. It's very important to be able to separate work from your personal life. I have a rule, and this rule has been in place even when I was in my 20s, and I had people working for me. I do not have relations with people I work with.
Period.
Point blank, period. Now, it's different if me and my girl, we go start a business. That's different.
That's
different. I
different.
ain't going to stop
Totally
being
different.
with baby because we got a job. You know what I'm saying? We got to work. You know, we got a situation here, you know, because we getting money over here. But I will not ever get down like that because besides the fact of it just being immoral, it could have some very bad consequences if you do something with that person and then things go awry, which they inevitably do in relationships, right? Now, since you've had relations with this woman, sexual relations with this woman, now she can decide that, well, you know, I want to get him back. I don't like the fact that I ain't get that promotion, or he fired me, or, you know, I left the job and on my own, but he didn't want to hire me back, or whatever. Things happen. And now she decides that now I want to get him back, so I'm just gonna say he raped me. I'm gonna say he harassed me. And now you find yourself on the hook, because I actually hired a girl once, and she tried to. I'm not gonna go all the way into it, but she really tried me after I hired her. I actually was trying to holler at her before I hired her.
Before you hired her. But once you hired her, you was like, I ain't hollering
Exactly.
no more.
I tried to holler at her before, and she didn't want nothing to do with me, right? So, but when I hired her, you know, next thing I know, she trying to show me reports, rubbing her little old boobs on my back and stuff, you know, leaning all over, trying to, I'm like, hey, you know, like, I'm scooting up and all this type of stuff. But I realized that this ain't gonna work out, because next thing you know, she trying to show up to work late,
yep.
but she still want to get paid,
Privilege.
and all this type of stuff. But all of this is because of familiarity, because she thinks that we so cool that she can get away with that, and she thinks that now she gonna use her body, you know, to lure me into getting off my square. So I stayed on my square because, like I say, I don't mix business with pleasure like that. I don't get down like that, and I don't get down with, if I'm working with a dude, I got a partner, whatever. He ain't never got to worry about me even looking at his woman. I try to not even look in her direction.
Facts.
You know, I don't get down like that.
Facts.
Because it's too much that come with it.
Facts, brother. Facts. And me and you are the same when it comes to that, bro. Like, I call it the elevator test. I want to be the type of dude that another guy could say, if Dee-1 ever got stuck in the elevator with my girl, even if that elevator was broke for 5 hours and they was just stuck on the elevator together, just the two of them, no cameras or nothing, I got no doubt in my mind that Dee-1 ain't even gonna try nothing with my girl.
That's right.
That's the type of dude I want to be. And it's only because I see my daddy and my grandpa as those type of men, you know? Yeah. But I see my rap heroes as people who glorify, I smash your girl, I take your girl, have your girl doing, you know what I mean? And that's why I always saw like a disconnect. Like, wait, this who I grew up with, and this the type of character they got, but this who I grew up listening to, and this what they celebrate, and it don't match up. You feel me?
Now, do your rap heroes get a pass if you treat her bad, then he come in and swoop up? He say, I'm gonna swoop up if you treat her bad.
I ain't never heard no dude talk like that in the rap game.
Now go listen to Clean Up Man by Willie D.
Okay.
Right, go listen to that. But yeah, I'm not with. I want my own girl, bro.
That's
like I don't want your girl. I want my own girl. I don't want your money. I want my own money. I don't want your car. I want my own car.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want your house. You got to worry about me invading your house.
Man.
I want my own house.
That mentality right there would eradicate adultery. It would eradicate robbing. It would eradicate a lot of killing. I don't want yours. I want my own.
Yeah.
That mentality right there. I don't want yours. I want my own. When it come to women, when it come to material possessions, houses, money, that'll eradicate so much jewelry. That mentality. That's all. I don't want yours. I want my own. Nothing about having yours is even stimulating to me. That's powerful, bro. And man, that's powerful. So I told myself coming in, it's been a year now since I started this movement, right? It's called the Platinum Pledge, right? I don't know if you heard of it yet. So I turned platinum into an acronym. Platinum stands for People Leading a Transformation Involving Newly Unified Mindsets, right? So inside of hip-hop, I told myself, any podcast I come on, I'm going to ask the person on the podcast where they stand when it comes to this Platinum Pledge, right? So check this out.
Okay.
Check that out. So it says, take the Platinum Pledge. A shift is happening right now. The purpose of the Platinum Pledge is to publicly unify all the people who vow not to create, support, or promote music that glorifies murder, drug dealing, drug use, the disrespect of women, and sexual irresponsibility. Because I feel like if we get hip-hop to the point where we no longer glorify those things that I put in bold, I feel like we'll have a whole different industry. We'll still talk about murder. We'll talk about drug dealing and drug use. We'll talk about women and sex.
We're not going to glorify it.
Not glorifying
I'm with
it.
that.
You with it?
I'm with that. I mean, this. If you go back and listen to all the Ghetto Boys music, all Willie D music, that's what we did. You know what I'm saying? We talked about all of this, but we didn't glorify it.
That's, man.
Because you can talk about that chop in the trunk, but
Yep.
it's irresponsible of you to not warn those youngsters that what's going to happen when you get pulled over with that chop in the trunk.
Man, I got goosebumps underneath this thermal right here, brother, just because to hear you say that you rocking with that Platinum Pledge, you done just joined a community of thousands and thousands of people who I done got over this past year to sign that pledge, and they go on my website and sign it, Dee-1music.com, DEE, the number one, music.com. It take 2 seconds. And all the people I got that done signed this Platinum Pledge, what I'm now doing after a whole year of building this community, now it's time to mobilize. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done organize and strategize. Now it's time to mobilize and move forward together, because that's how we keep shifting this culture, man. I do think that God put a lot of weight on my shoulders to figure out, like, D, how do you maximize your time on this earth and in this rap game? You in your prime right now. Like, I know I'm in my prime. So I'm like, I'm going to have a movement. That's the Platinum Pledge. I'm going to have a children's book, a hip-hop children's book called David Found His Slingshot. You know what I mean? So this is an anti-bullying hip-hop book. True story about when I used to get bullied in New Orleans as a kindergartner. And now me and my bully, we best friends to this day. You know what I mean? And it's talking about how hip-hop was actually the thing that united us and allowed us to become so close. So that's going to teach our young people how to respect one another instead of bullying one another. And of course, making that music, man. Like, I think sometimes my intelligence might overshadow my my hits and my jams and my bangers that I put out, because sometimes people will be like, man, I love your interviews. I love your podcast. I got a podcast now called Flipping Tables with Dee-1. You know what I mean? Because that's what Jesus did. He went and flipped tables when he needed to. He was peaceful when he needed to, but when people was really wilding and getting out of line, he had to go flip tables. You heard me? I got all that, but I don't want it to overshadow the music. Yeah, man, the music is like, the music is second to none right now, bro. And I'm gonna keep coming with the music this year, bro. And I'm trying to. When the last time you put something out, bro? Cause what did it take for me and you to do something, bro?
A dope beat.
That's all.
Dope beat.
That's all it
You know
takes.
what I'm saying? Something super dope.
That's all.
Yeah, man. I'm a specialist, man. Like I'm the guy in the movies that's retired. And, you got the hit squad over here call me up and say, look, we need you for this assignment. Just one time.
Only you can do this.
Oh, yeah. Just for old time's sakes, man. Just for one, just once, man. And then you can go back to doing whatever it is that you do. And like, man, I'm not trying to hear that. Now, listen, man. Listen. We need you. All right, damn it, let's.
Yeah.
Then you cut.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, we in the car riding.
You in there? Yeah.
I'm that dude. I come out. For a hit. I come out to, for a special assignment.
Word.
And then I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna get back to what I do.
I'm gonna tell you, bro. The type of dude I am, where my head and my heart is, and my art is, I value a feature from Willie D more than I value a feature from whoever's at the top of the charts right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that your heart is in a place where my heart is. in terms of our overall mission for why we doing what we do. So who at the top of the charts right now? I don't know, Lil whoever, Lil such and such, Lil this, or Young Nat, or whatever. Man, I'm in a space where it's like, nah, man, give me that. I value a Willie D feature more than I value a Drake feature. I put it to you like that. Because for me, I know that me and Willie D doing music is something to where the hearts are on the same page, same paragraph in terms of what we trying to accomplish through the art. Whereas with Drake, when somebody get a Drake feature, they just chasing likes and comments and streams and ultimately money, you know what I mean? But the money don't outweigh the impact, man. And you can never put a value on the impact that's made by two people or more who come together, who truly are putting God first and who truly are trying to make this world a better place, man. So that's where I'm at.
Man, you figured it out, though. You figured out how to put the message in the music and still be jamming.
Thank you.
All the hooks is super dope. Just the hooks, the beats, and then the message. I always say, man, if you can just give me a dope beat and you get the hook, all I gotta do is not mess the song up.
That's a
what I'm saying?
bar. That's a bar.
You got that. Like you deliver it time and time again, and you can tell that it's authentic. But what do you say to the people, those few people, the chat in the background, who say that you do this gospel music, you talk about God and you talk about religion only to sell records?
Bro, that make it harder to sell records when you're talking about God. And first of all, I don't do gospel music. You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
I saw somebody in your comments saying that. Yeah.
That make it harder. I've made it 10 times harder for myself to make it.
Right.
But the problem is, that same person gets mad when I tell them, but I have made it. And I didn't have to compromise. I didn't have to give up my morals or my booty or none of that type of stuff. You know what I mean? And I did make it. I have built wealth in this game, and I ain't never went platinum. I ain't never sold as many records as Willie D. You know what I'm saying? But that's the problem where they like, dang, but how you own real estate here and you got a portfolio looking like this and you got like all this massive stuff in apartment complexes and all this, off a rap, just to prove to the next person that it's possible, that you could put God first and you could still build wealth off of being peaceful and being positive, and it's still profitable. But this ain't no marketing gimmick, man. You can't find nobody from the time David was 5 years old to now as a grown man who will ever say that Dee-1 is different than who David is.
Well, you got to say something. They got to say something.
Yeah, they got to say something.
You got to say something. You just can't let you just like you say, if you ain't got those detractors, something's
I ain't doing
wrong.
something right.
Yeah, you're not doing something right. If everybody like you, something's wrong.
That's a fact, brother. That's a big fact. And this year I've had to get used to being disliked more than ever. Because I was the homecoming king in high school. I was very popular in college, in elementary. After kindergarten, once me and that bully got on the same page, I always been well liked. My name, David. You know what David means? It means beloved. Like my name literally means beloved. You know what I mean? Like a person that's beloved by people. So this year, as I started to be more disliked and have people threatening my life and threatening my safety and my well-being, it did take getting used to. But when I had that controversy that went down with like Rick Ross and Meek Mill and Jim Jones and Joe Budden and all them, you know when that happened, bro? That happened a month after my real-life human hero, Papa, died, right? So for the first time in life, I was experiencing something new, which was being extremely disliked, not just by artists, but by their fans, you know what I'm saying? And by other media people. I'm experiencing something that felt foreign to me, and I didn't have my main man to hit up and go have one of them conversations where I could just listen to him talk and give me that wisdom. And I had to deal with it on my own, bro. And I did it.
You did it, bro.
I did
Thank
it.
God. And thank God for Papa. Because he put something in you, bro. And that thing that he put in you, you're sharing it with the world. And we're grateful for that.
Thank you, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dee-1.
Love.
No more talk.